Hello everyone, very logical day to all of you. So, in the discussion of articles, of the variety of articles, what we are taking today is Telegraph online, an article from here, Monday 25th September, right? So, Canada Defense Minister describes a relationship with India important, says will continue to pursue partnerships like Indo-Pacific strategy. इसे continue करेंगे, एक short line जो है, if the allegations are proven true, there is a very significant concern that Canada will have with respect to the violation of our sovereignty in the murder of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. ठीक है, अब देखते हैं क्या है इसमें. This is Justin Trudeau. Here he is. Oh, sure. Terming the relationship with India is important, Canada's Defence Minister Bill Blair on Sunday said that his country will continue to pursue partnerships like the Indo-Pacific strategy while the investigation of the killing of a Sikh separatist leader continues. Tensions flared between India and Canada following the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's explosive allegations. Explosive यानी एकदम explode होना मतलब एकदम बॉम्ब जैसे फूट जाना. तो ये जो allegations थे, they were so huge. So they were explosive like. So of a potential involvement, उन्होंने दिया भी potential inverted comma में है. So from this single or double inverted commas में, you can understand that this is the word, the potential involvement. And secondly, it has a different meaning here. मतलब इतना emphasis इस पे देना, it is important for them. Potential involvement of Indian agents in the killing of Khalistani extremist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, 45, on his country's soil on June 18 in British Columbia. India had designated Nijjar as a terrorist in 2020. ठीक है, तब उन्हें टेररिस्ट बोला गया था. और अभी अगर माना जिसने भी मतलब पोटेंशियल इन्वॉल्वमेंट बोला है कनाडा ने. दिस इज द एलिगेशन ऑन इंडिया. India angrily rejected the allegations as absurd and motivated and expelled a senior Canadian diplomat in a tit-for-tat move to Ottawa's expulsion of an Indian official over the case. Right? जिसने भी इंडिया और कनाडा के बारे में नहीं पढ़ा हो तो ये पूरी बात समझ में आ जाती है कि first there was a killing, right? Then there was an allegation on India that say it was you who killed, right? Potential है ये. Then this person had been removed, expulsion of an Indian official over the case. उन्हें हटा दिया तो what did India do? Tit for tat. ठीक है, उन्होंने भी हटा दिया Canadian diplomat को. Now Canada had been seeking deeper trade. Had been seeking को हम ध्यान में रखते हैं, दिमाग में underline कर लेते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि past perfect tense, right? Past perfect continuous वाला है, तो मतलब काफी पहले का ऐसा होता. Had been seeking deeper trade, defense and immigration ties with India before the credible intelligence, as Trudeau called it, was first raised with Canadian officials, Global News reported. In an interview aired Sunday on the West Block, Blair suggested Canada will continue to pursue those partnerships while the investigation into allegations continues, calling the relationship with India important. तो ये important है, मतलब वो जो allegation किया, जो कहा, जो डिप्लोमेट को हटाया, वो अलग एक साइड चलता रहेगा. ट्रेड पे फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. तो इंडिया विल कनाडा वांट्स टू कंटिन्यू विद द ट्रेड with India. Why? Because for Canada, India is important. We understand that this can be and is proven to be a challenging issue with respect to our relationship with India. He was quoted as saying by Global News. But at the same time, we have a responsibility to defend the law, defend our citizens, at the same time make sure that we conduct a thorough investigation and get to the truth. मतलब हम इतने अच्छे हैं कि मतलब हमें ये करना ही पड़ेगा, पूरा लॉ के हिसाब से चलना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, ट्रेड अपनी जगह तो चलती रहनी चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाट ही इज सेइंग. So if the allegations are proven true, Blair said there's a very significant concern that Canada will have with respect to the violation of our sovereignty in the murder of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. Blair said that the Indo-Pacific strategy was still a critical one for Canada and has led to an increased military presence in the region and commitments for further patrol capabilities. Indo-Pacific strategy जो है, they want to continue with it. Why? Because it has been helping them and they have increased the military presence there in the region. So this is the reasoning that the person says, the person Blair mentions or gives the reason of why India is, or keeping the same relations with India is important for Canada. The strategy commits USD 492.9 million over 5 years toward those military priorities out of a total of nearly USD 2.3 billion over the same period. On Thursday, India asked Canada to come down hard on terrorists and anti-India elements operating from its soil and suspended visa services for Canadians as escalating tensions. Escalating means increasing, rising between the two nations over the killing of Nijar pushed their ties to an all-time low. ठीक है, इससे बेकार टाइज कभी भी नहीं हुए थे पहले इंडिया और कनाडा के, और ये काम वापस से हुआ है. India also asked Canada to downsize its diplomatic staff in the country, arguing that there should be parity in strength and rank equivalence in the mutual diplomatic presence. जितने लोग यहाँ पे हैं वैसे equally वहाँ पे भी होने चाहिए, मतलब the diplomatic presence. The size of Canadian diplomatic staff in India is larger than what New Delhi has in Canada. So this is the reasoning and this is the point that they are giving. So this is okay, fine. छोटा सा passage था ये बस, but you can understand it now that it is easy, but easy in the sense that you can write one main argument on this. Simple सा कर सकते हैं कि आखिर Canada को, why does Canada want to, what can we say, want to keep the ties with India as they were earlier. So the main argument for it, that is what you need. So that is one small one. So I'll see if I can go for another business one. ये word से opinion देखते हैं हम, ठीक है? Southern Skies ongoing nationwide survey found evidence of the Nipah virus carrying back population across. Let us see what we have here. A dictionary for Mr. Vidhigya. Okay, let us see this. A dictionary for Mr. Biduri. The notion of a parliamentary language in the sense of a contained and civil communication is possibly common to every parliament in every country. Contained का मतलब होता है लिमिट होना, कम करना. लिमिट ही हो जाता है, इसका कम तो नहीं होता है. Contained जैसे कंटेनर्स होते हैं, that is the meaning of contained, to restrict, to constrict, to limit. So, late 19th century, Benjamin Disraeli calls half the cabinet asses on the floor of the British House of Commons and earns a rap. Thus reprimanded, he proceeds with his speech. Reprimanded, we have done this word mainly in our sessions, in our concepts. Reprimanded में मतलब क्या होता है? Admonish करना, डांट लगना. Simple सा word होता है, scold, chide, admonish, rebuke, right? So disapprove, and then it goes to castigate and criticize and all. So thus reprimanded, he proceeds with his speech. He says, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw my statement that half the cabinet are asses, half the cabinet are not asses. The notion of a parliamentary language in the sense of a contained and civil communication is possibly common to every parliament in every country. 1907, impertinent puppy was banned from the British Parliament, but goose and half-wit were allowed, and Pecksniffen cant, which is a euphemism for hypocrite. Euphemism is a figure of speech. इसका मतलब कुछ negative बोलना होगा, जैसे hypocrite, उसके बदले आप बोलेंगे Pecksniffen cant. Right? So now this is giving you another word I got here. Impertinent. Right? So something that is not relative. Impertinent, rude जैसा हो जाता है. Was banned, ये word banned. Half-wit यानी जिनका दिमाग आधा चलेगा वो. Hypocrite के बदले एक euphemism use किया, Pecksniffen cant. It was disallowed in 1928. What differs from country to country, parliament to parliament, is the effort and manner of negotiating the acceptable and the unacceptable through decades and centuries. Winston Churchill is known to have uttered racial profanities that are now stuff of legends. Racial profanities. Profane means to make something unholy, right? Now, what he thought of Indians is all too well known. But did you know that he referred to Palestinians as barbaric hordes who ate little but camel dung? Right. Barbaric hordes. Hordes yani झुंड होता है. But history is testimony that he was squeamish about using bad language in parliament. He would rather call a political rival purveyor of terminological inexactitudes. ठीक है, टर्मिनोलॉजिकल इनएग्जैक्टिट्यूड्स का मतलब होता है कि जो टर्म्स या वर्ड्स को सही तरीके से नहीं यूज करेगा, वो ये बात बोलना पसंद करेंगे बजाय आप उनको लायर बुलाएं. Right? Again, it becomes an example of euphemism that instead of liar, that person is called a purveyor of terminological inexactitudes. मतलब जो exactly word नहीं बोला जाता है वो. Trends change, languages evolve, shed old meanings and take on new. In 2019, when MP Ian Blackford said of Boris Johnson that he had made a career out of lying, he was not asked to withdraw the comment. Only months ago, Tan Xuan Jin, who was then Speaker of Singapore's Parliament, apologized to an MP for calling him a dash populist when Parliament was in session. Belgium apparently does not have a list of unparliamentary expressions, but New Zealand has. अब देखो हमें पैसेज का पता चल गया पढ़ते पढ़ते कि ये अलग अलग कंट्रीज में पार्लियामेंट में किस तरीके से लैंग्वेज को यूज करते हैं या बैन करते हैं या नहीं यूज करते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट इज बीइंग गिवन. सो इन 2014 व्हेन अ मिनिस्टर कॉल्ड द देन एमपी ऑफ बेल्जियम मिस्टर पेडोफिली, many MPs left the building. Under the indexes of the New Zealand parliamentary debates, there are words listed against a year, all of it under the header Speaker Unparliamentary Language. Sample these: 1933 blowfly-minded financial Frankenstein. इसमें से तुम्हें वर्ड्स जो 2-3 कर सकते हो, अब फ्रैंकेनस्टीन यू कैन रीड. 1943 में रिटार्डेड वर्म, 1959 कुकाबुरा, 1980 Ayatollah Quigley Wiggly, the Arapawa goat. The Table, which is a yearly journal brought out by the Society of Clerks at the Table in Commonwealth parliaments, includes an entire list of expressions ruled as unparliamentary. पूरी डिक्शनरी है उसमें कि कौन कौन से वर्ड्स को पार्लियामेंट में नहीं यूज किया जा सकता है. In its 89th volume, published in 2021, the India list is only as long as Australia's. Now, with Mr. Biduri's contribution, that list will be longer. So that's it. Right, so that's enough for today, and thank you. Stay logical and see you soon.